The title of today's story is The Princess Who Never Smiled. So let's start the story. Many years ago, there was a king in Russia. The king had a beautiful daughter who grew more beautiful every year. To keep her happy, the king gave her everything she wanted. She had the finest clothes, the most beautiful jewelry, the tastiest food, and the best entertainment. Still, the princess never smiled. This saddened the king, and he asked every night, "Are you happy, my dear?" "Yes, father, I am very happy," replied the princess. The king did not believe her. After all, happy people smiled, and the princess never smiled. After seeing the sad face of his beautiful daughter for many years, the king announced that whoever brought a smile to his daughter's face would be married to the princess. Young people came from all over Russia. A clown dressed in colorful stripes and polka dots was carrying glasses filled with water. The princess did not smile. A troupe of actors dressed as donkeys presented a play. The princess did not smile. A comedian dressed as a giant chicken told jokes. Still, the princess did not smile. Saying that the princess was not smiling, tears came to his eyes. "Will anyone ever be able to bring a smile to my beautiful daughter's face?" The king said sadly. The seasons passed. Birds sang in spring. Crops grew in summer. In autumn, gorgeous colors stretched as far as the eye could see. Snow covered the ground and looked like crystal in winter. Still, the princess did not smile. The king did not know what else to do. Young men continued to come to the palace. Some people brought shining jewels and placed them at the feet of the princess. Some brought gowns of the softest silk with the most delicate handmade lace. Others brought the fattest swans or the tastiest chickens. Still, the princess did not smile. In a nearby village, a young man named Lucas worked for a farmer. He plowed the fields. He took care of animals. He repaired the barn. He continued to work, and the farmer was very happy with him. At the end of the year, the farmer invited Lucas to his home. A big bag full of money was kept on the table. The farmer said, "You've done a good job last year, Lucas. Take as much money as you want." The farmer went out of the room. Lucas thought for a moment, then took a coin. After all, he was an honest man and did not want to be greedy. Lucas went to the town well for a sip of water. As soon as he drank the water, the coin slipped from his hand and fell into the water with a splash. Lucas kept looking into the well for a long time. "Maybe I didn't try hard enough," he thought. "Of course, that's why my luck was so bad." He resolved to work harder next year. The seasons passed again. Lucas planted corn in the spring. He tended it all summer long and harvested it in the autumn. So by the time the snow shone in winter, the farmer had a full box of corn. Once again, the farmer placed the money on the table and told Lucas to take whatever he wanted and left the room. Again, Lucas, not being greedy, took a coin. He was thirsty, so he went to the well to drink water. Then the coin slipped from his hand and fell into the well with a splash. Again, Lucas decided to work harder the next year, because he thought, "I might not have worked well enough this year." The third year came and went. Lucas worked even harder. He rarely slept. He ate very little. He worked round the clock. At the end of the year, he took a coin and went to the well to drink water. Lucas became very happy after seeing the sight there. 2 coins of previous years started floating on water. Lucas caught them and put them in his pocket. "Now the time has come for me to see the world," he said, and he left the village. Lucas walked through a meadow. The sun was shining overhead and warming him, so he stopped for a moment to enjoy its glow. While he was sitting with his eyes closed, a small mouse ran towards him. "Sir, please, give me a coin. I want to eat cheese from the market. I promise I will help you if needed." Lucas smiled at the mouse and gave him the coin. The mouse jumped off Lucas's foot and went back into its hole. Lucas continued his journey and soon reached a dense forest. The trees were close to each other and kept the ground dark, and the forest creatures were unusually silent. Lucas proceeded cautiously, but soon he met a beetle. "Sir, please, give me a coin. I have to bring home the things. I promise I will help you if needed." Lucas was very kind, gave the beetle a coin, and continued on his way. While walking, he felt thirsty, There was a spring nearby, so he stopped there to drink water. "Sir, please, give me a coin. One day I will definitely help you in return." Lucas looked down and saw a frog swimming at the water's edge. He couldn't refuse, so he gave his last coin to the frog. The frog took the coin and went back into the water. Lucas soon arrived in town. People started moving here and there. Horses were running on the road. People's voices were coming from all sides. Lucas looked around, not knowing where to go. Eventually, he saw the king's palace at the end of a long road and decided to head in that direction. Lucas watched the people throughout the city and soon stopped to rest in front of the princess's window. He looked up and was amazed at her beauty. He became dizzy and fell into the mud in front of the castle. At that very moment, Frog, Beetle and Rat came there. The frog gently shook Lucas's face to wake him up. The beetle immediately cleaned Lucas's shoes and the mouse cleaned his coat of mud. Up the road, the princess saw small creatures caring for the young man. His actions touched his heart. He whispered, and she smiled. He must be a very special man, inspiring these creatures to care for him so well. The princess started laughing loudly. "Look, the princess is smiling," shouted an old woman on the street. There was a wave of happiness in the city, and the king jumped with joy. He called the soldiers and invited Lucas to the palace and hosted him well. As the king had promised, Lucas and the princess were married. From then on, they were always happy.